All right, so it's saying we are live, so I'm just going to check and see what's going on because I have no idea. Let's see. Oh, we are live. Yay. Hey, everybody. How's it going? So welcome to 1776 or Bust. If you've never been here before, we are probably going to waste a lot of your time tonight. But I do have some things to talk about. I mean, for the first time ever, I actually have some things planned out. So there's about 6 people watching. So hopefully we'll get some more as the night progresses. We're going to be on here for about an hour, and then we'll call it a night. So I hope everybody out there has been doing well. You guys can definitely say hello as you come in. But right now there was Dan O'Neill, first before last, Pistol Pete, Scott 79, and C Kim. So like I said, we'll see if anybody comes in. Guy Comet just arrived. Hello, C Kim. So hello, everybody. So, like I said, we'll wait and we'll get this party started here momentarily. Hopefully, numbers will climb and everybody will be, happy and joyous watching another stream by moi. Let's see, Rudy 1956. Hello, and I carry my revolver in single action. Hello. I think I've already said hello. Pistol Pete, who said Veloc or Veloci. I don't really know how to pronounce those grips from Lock Grips, but they are phenomenal. Definitely the best one. By the way, slight disclosure, if you guys are looking for some lock grips, you don't have to use anybody else's code except for mine, and it's 1776, and you get 10% off of your purchase. So all you got to do is do 1776 for 10%. So that's from Lock Grips. Fantastic grips if you need them. Hello, music lover. How are you? Floridian, good evening to you, sir. And again, more and more people usher in. So we're going to also talk a little bit about SHOT Show. Obviously, that's coming up this week, and I think a lot of people are excited. Just if you guys can let me know if the sound is okay. I've been playing around with the microphone stuff a little bit, so I just want to make sure everything is going well with the audio and visual quality. So just chime in, let me know. Pistol Pete is saying the Veloc grips are the bomb, and I agree. Definitely the best of every single grip out there, and I have a lot of theirs, but it is the best ones that I've ever used. Guy comment saying he's a little under the weather, so may bow out a bit. Please don't take it personal. I enjoy your content. Well, I appreciate that, sir, but health first. That's always important. Believe me, I know. C. Kim is saying the sound is okay. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Then I can get rid of these massively sized headphones, but they are awesome. So again, I'm just reading some of the comments here. But again, as I said, as people roll in, probably about 8:05, we'll start with what I have planned and just let people come in here and there. Wave Slave is saying sound is fine. Very good. So I'm glad to hear that or read that because I can't hear any of you. But nonetheless, tonight we're going to be talking about SHOT Show. Again, just a couple of plugs for myself. I hate to do it, but what the hell. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, I also have a Patreon page, 1776 or Bust. It's pretty basic stuff. I mean, if you want to, donate $3 a month, that would be great. It helps the channel grow, helps us invest in the channel. I hate asking, but what the hell. And then also, just lastly, again, Lock Grips 1776 gets you 10% off. So please check them out if you are in the market for some pretty damn sweet grips. So it is now 8:03, and let's just get started. So obviously, SHOT Show is coming up this week, and I was a little skeptical, guys. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really have high expectations for really anything going, I guess you could say really, really well. I thought that we were going to see pretty much the basics of, that we've been seeing lately. It really has not been much in regards to firearms as a whole, I think, in 2021. But it looks like 2022 might be shaping up to be a little bit of a better year, which is what I'm hoping for. I've been seeing some things circulating pictures-wise. So I actually got 4 photographs off the internet, basically showing some guns that are going to be coming out. And, some of them are pretty exciting. Some of them are kind of, I don't really know what to think about it. But hopefully, nonetheless, we will see some pretty good stuff. I mean, I'm going to stay hopeful. Captain Phil, how are you, sir? Glad to see you here. And again, what I might start doing is a every other week chat. If you guys are interested, leave comments. I'd love to see them. But I'm thinking instead of doing them every week, because I just don't have the time, nor does anybody really want to see or hear me every friggin' week. I'm thinking of doing every other week, probably on Sundays, probably around 8 o'clock. So you guys let me know if that works, and then we'll go from there. Pistol Pete is saying Locke makes scripts for many pistols, 1911s, Berettas, CZ75s, Walther, Tanfoglio, etc. And yes, they are starting to push out revolver grips. I just saw that also online recently. They are making grips for revolvers coming soon, I think. So that's pretty sweet. What's up, Double B? What up? All right, so let's talk about SHOT Show. Again, like I said, not really, I guess, had high hopes for it. I thought that it was going to be a bust this year, but it looks like it's going to be pretty decent. So I'm actually going to start doing some pictures. I'm going to do some screen sharing. Hopefully I don't screw this up. And if I do, oh, well, it is what it is. So we're going to take these pictures one at a time, and I'll kind of talk to you, and you let me know. The first question is, though, Finna What is asking, hello, 17, did you fix your IWI? I actually didn't. It was never broken. It's actually because I'm an idiot, which is not a surprise. I actually have it right in front of me here, but God forbid you show it on that's it. It's the end of that's in the end of the chat. But it was actually my fault. And the reason being is because the screws I was using were the recommended size for an RMR. That's what I wanted to say. And so they tell you to use the 12 millimeter screws. However, I was reading forums, Reddit, that kind of stuff, and everybody was saying you have to actually look at or use the 10 millimeter screws. So once I put the 10 millimeters on, it's very secure. It's pretty snug on there, so it has enough bite. And now the slide goes back into action, no problems. So that is the problem. If you have a hollow sun, which I do, you have to use the shorter screws at the 10 mils. And I thank everybody who chimed in and gave me that advice, because I had no clue what the hell was going on. And I was very concerned that the gun was broken. But I did reach out to IWI. They reached back out, and I explained to them what the problem was. Excuse me. And that it was fixed. And they were like, okay, cool. So then I said, well, if you guys really want to help me out, give me 2 10-round mags, because I could use them. But I don't think I can. Double B said, check out the Gerson Beretta. Yeah, I looked at those. You know, they're pretty nice. I mean, they're Berettas, pretty much. They're clones. But, you know, honestly, for the price differential, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. But we're going to talk about a gun that I'm going to be getting here soon, hopefully. Let's see. Florian saying every other week, Sunday at 8 works nicely. Well, I appreciate that. And that's probably where we're going to go. So let's talk. Let me show you the first picture I have here, and I want to get this squared away. Let me just delete. I keep getting these stupid pop-ups on my computer. It's like every 5 seconds I'm getting emails. All right, so let's go to the first screen share here, and there we go. I'm going to try to blow this up for you guys so you can see it. I'm going to zoom in. All right, so as you guys can see, whoops, let me back out here. Oh my God. See, this is what happens when you try to do anything. There we go. Anytime you do something live, that's what happens. All right, so let's take a look at this first gun. So as you guys can see, this is a VP9 SK with an optic cut on it. So yes, they have absolutely done the same thing for a VP9 with a VP9 SK, you know, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not terrible. You know, it actually looks pretty decent. I mean, it is going to be a VP9 SK, so that's not an issue. I think everything looks pretty standard in regards to what you would see normally on a VP9. I can't remember if the mag release here. Can you guys see that all right? Tell me if you can see that okay. But it looks like everything is pretty much standard operating procedures with this gun. The sights look a little bit low to the optic. Not really sure what the hell optic that is, to be honest with you, but you're probably going to have to get some co-witnessing sights if you want to get that. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty nice. It looks like a good package. I'm not, you know, again, I'm not 100% on board with the VP9. I've actually owned 3, and I've sold them all. I just never really melded with the gun, I guess you could say, for some reason. So, you know, for me, I'm not sure what it's going to be like. But I think it looks cool. And you know what? It's going to sell because people, love the VP9 series. They love the VP9 model. They like the VP9 SK. And they certainly like anything that has a friggin' optic on it. You know, that seems to be the big it word. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, I think it's a pretty cool option to have if that's what you're looking for. And, you know, hopefully some people will buy it, which I'm pretty sure they will. Why, hello there, the Armsman. How are you, sir? Paul H is saying, what up? Went to the range today with my new Optics Ready M&P that has the new trigger body. Definitely makes a difference in overall feel when shooting, and he can dig it. Would that happen to be the 10 millimeter or 9 millimeter, sir? Let's see. Guy commented saying he's going to probably end up with one of these. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool and it looks nice. I just got in the P2000, but again, it's going to take me about 3 years to be able to get it. So who the hell knows? But I'm excited just to have that because, somebody gave me some shit about it because they were saying, well, why would you want a P2000? It's an old gun and nobody cares about it anymore. Well, and I think they said it was unpopular. And funny enough, the P2000 is one of the most popular H&K pistols that are still being made. So yeah, it's an old pistol, but extremely popular. And honestly, guys, I don't buy guns for popularity. I buy guns that I like. So, that's just for whatever that's worth. Mike is saying he had his VP9SK milled for mine. He put a Holosun 507C on it, and it's a better shooter now. Interesting. The only thing I didn't like about the VP9, I actually had an SK at one time. It didn't last very long. I don't know what the hell is with me in this gun. But I just didn't like this area here. It just felt like every time I wanted to put my support hand here, I just didn't have a good grip with my thumb to be able to kind of use that as some leverage. But that was just me. I don't know. I just never felt comfortable shooting that gun. Maybe I'll consider it again. Probably. Not going to lie. Pistol Pete is saying he would like to see the CZ put an optic ready PO1. Yeah, don't hold your breath on that one. Shit, we can't even get we can't even get a damn, what is it, a PO7, or excuse me, a P10C in OD green. So I highly doubt they're going to put an optic on a P01. Armsman is saying he loves the VP9SK. We'll definitely trade in for this one. Addicted to optics now. Oh boy, another guy addicted. Pistol is saying that he has the M&P 45 with optics. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, the M&Ps are solid guns, no doubt. And I think the optic makes it even more solid. All right, product number 2. Excuse me. I'm going to drink some water like a big boy. So take a look at the picture and we'll get right to it. All right. So here we go. We've got this. Wow. What can I say? Yeah. Silence is deafening. I know. So this is the Hellion from, I think it's Hellion Rifles, trademarked by Springfield Armory. And it's kind of an interesting gun. It's a bullpup. And Captain Phil is saying, Hellion, no. So I'm not surprised. This is, I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. I guess it looks sort of like, science fiction-y kind of shit. But, I mean, it's like a little overdone. I'm not sure what to think about this firearm, to be honest with you. First off, I can't get it in New York anyway. But secondly, it really does look like it's all plastic, and I mean, aside from the barrel, I mean, everything else, it looks like a cheap ass gun. That's what I would say it looks like. But I think we're gonna go right past this one. This is not much of anything. The only thing that I read about this gun that is kind of cool is if you're a left-handed shooter, like for example, I'm a left-handed shooter for rifles, but a right-handed shooter for handguns. Don't ask. You can actually switch out the ejection port to the other side, and you don't have to do anything. It's like sort of, I don't know, it's customizable, I guess, from the factory, which I thought was pretty cool. That's something that for me would be a good deal to do. I'd like to see other manufacturers do that. If I could ever, if I could get a really good rifle, obviously I'd get one for a lefty, but I just like the idea that they're making this ejection port on the other side as well. So that's kind of cool. So let's look at some of these comments here. So the Armsman is saying, what's the story with the range session in the IWI Masada? It's user error. It boiled down to using the wrong size screws. I was using 12 millimeters and you need to use 10. So I put the 10s on, no problems. Everything was running great. I haven't shot it though, but I was running obviously some rounds through it, just racking the slide back and forth, making sure it was good to go. So we'll get a range session in probably next week on that one. Paul H is saying he's on a P2000. It's a great shooter and extremely accurate. The only reason I sold it was because of the long reset when shooting at speed or doing drills. Yeah, the reset I found wasn't that bad. I have a version 3. So it didn't seem that bad to me. The thing I didn't like was the double action pull. Very heavy. So I'll probably throw a new hammer spring in there once it comes in. Captain Phil is saying he would rather get another AK and another caliber like 5.56 or 5.45 over the Hellion. Let's see. Dan O'Neill saying he's not a bullpup fan. Don't want my face that close to the chamber. Good point. Good point. Bill L, the price needs to come down big time. Yeah, I don't know what this is running for, but anything that's new is always going to command a high price. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. it could be a piece of crap that shoots, spitballs, and they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. Let's see. Kim, that is my choice. If I could actually own a real gun, like a real human being, and didn't live in New York State, I'd get a Tavor. I want a Tavor. I don't know. It's something about the gun. I just like it. I think it's cool. All right, let's go to the third firearm here. Let me balloon that up a little bit for you. So this little guy is from a company called Great Lakes Firearms and Ammunition, LLC. So this is kind of like, I guess you can say, like a Glocky type of, striker fired handgun that, we see a lot of constantly. And this would be no different than, probably looking at a Glock or something. The only difference is that it is not polymer. This is an aluminum alloy frame with a steel slide. And it looks like it has chickenpox or measles. But it looks kind of cool. It's definitely a cool concept. I don't know how. I'd be curious about the grip, because the grip from front to back looks fairly wide. So it's going to be interesting to see. But curiosity, it looks like there's a screw here and something here. So I wonder if this is somehow replaceable. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's not a lot of information about it, but it says here 1911 grip angle and modified pyramid grip texture offer the perfect combination of carry comfort and range control. So let's see. That's kind of neat. That's something that I would think is might be doable. Guys, I love aluminum fired guns. I just do. I think it's kind of the new thing for me. And I like striker fired guns still, but it would be nice to be able to see it branch off into this idea of, aluminum. But that's kind of a cool little piece there. Not sure exactly what's going to run, but if I was a gambling man, I'd probably say, probably $550, $600. But who knows? And it's going to be interesting to see how this is put together, because it looks like, you've got almost some screws here, some screws there. So I wonder if this is modular in any way or something, or maybe it's just put together like shit. I don't really know, but it's kind of interesting. Definitely interesting. All right, let's see. Bill is saying, could this be just another gadget gun? It could be. Everything, it's funny because when you see something at SHOT Show, there's no guarantee you're ever going to see it. A good example would be Nomad Arms. They had that striker fired aluminum gun, and there's been nothing. I guess it's supposedly coming out this year, but that's what they said 2 years ago. And so far there's been zero. And, there's been other guns like that, other manufacturers, the DWX, that's a whole bigger, mystery if that's going to be coming out this year. I spoke to KS a couple of nights ago, and he was saying, guy he knows who works in CZ is saying that it is definitely going to be coming out pretty soon. But, we'll wait and see if that's actually true. Guy commented saying Wilson Combat is introducing a 365 frame. That looks kind of cool. Well, I'd like to see that. Although you guys know I am absolutely in love with those Icarus precision frames. Let's see. And then Revolver saying me kind of like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It is definitely kind of neat looking. That could be doable. Depends on price, of course. But I have to say the ergos look pretty decent. I kind of like how this swoops down a little bit in the front. So that's kind of neat. It's a cool looking gun. Definitely is a cool looking gun. That's for sure. Let's see. Paul H. Have I owned a SIG 226 Legion single action only? I have not, sir, but I know plenty of people who have, and they friggin' love that gun. Not a big single action guy myself, per se. And that's very expensive. Let's see. Rotodymify is saying Nemo Arms. Yep. I think that's what I said, right? Nemo Arms? Yeah, that was the gun I was looking for, and it never appeared. Let's see. Revolver is saying, can I just get a double barrel shockwave? Yeah, sure. If you tape them together. See, Kim, maybe DWX will be Colt branded. It might be at this point. Armsman saying Wilson Combat P365 frame looks pretty nice. Let's see. Devil Dog is saying peace to you and your family, 1776, and peace to yours, sir, as well. I hope everything is working well for you. All right, so we're going to go to the final picture, and then once this picture is done, I'll take questions of anything you guys have, and we'll try to make this go an hour long. I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if I've got enough here. All right, let's see. Last picture. Let me zoom out of this one. This one's kind of interesting for a lot of reasons. First off, this was something that Smith & Wesson just put out today. And I want you guys to take a close look at this picture. And I want you to think about what I think, why I think this looks very interesting. This I think is gonna be a pretty sweet ass gun from Smith and Wesson, if it is what I think it is. And I've got to say, uh, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's a new shield coming out. I really do. And I'm not exactly sure what it is. What I can tell you here is if you look at the magazine, it says shield right at the bottom. And I'm wondering what this is, but I get a feeling I know what this is. So I want you guys to take a look at it. And I would say, look at the magazine. Magazine is a dead giveaway. So I will give you at least 10 seconds to share with your friends, and then I'll call you back. Yep. And then Captain Phil is saying the shield and 30 super carry. That'd be pretty cool, man, wouldn't it? Wrote down, I agree. The Nemo Monarch is a pretty sweet ass gun if they ever come out with it. And if they do, I'm going to sell a kidney to get one. All right. So I have two people who are saying 30 super carry. But the only problem is if you look at the magazine, it says 9 mil. I'm sorry, guys. Unless there's cross compatibility, but I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe there is. Revolver saying the Shield 57. I know. It's funny because so many people got the new 2.0 plus and they're probably kicking themselves. I mean, I'm not sure, but let's take a look at this gun. I mean, obviously it's Smith & Wesson, came right off their page and they're saying this is coming out soon and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, as a safety here, it is a shield. I mean, to me, there's no doubt that this is a shield, but the question is what kind of shield? And that's the bigger question. Now, I'm not sure. I don't have the plus. I don't know if anybody does here, but I'd be curious to know if the magazines on the plus look like this, because this looks like a double stacked magazine, but that feeds into a single stack at the top. Very similar to a SIG P365, folks. So the question would be, what the hell is this? Now, maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. Maybe this was them just saying, hey, we've got our Shield Plus for 2022. I'm not really sure, but I'd be curious to know if that magazine right there looks exactly like the Shield Plus magazine, because I don't know. And, you can clearly see that this starts to bevel down into a single feed right here, but you can see the width of this, that this is a double action, or excuse me, a double stack magazine. So Captain Phil saying it does look like a Shield Plus mag. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This is what they posted. I thought it was something new. Maybe I was wrong, but I thought it was kind of cool if it isn't something new. But, apparently it may not be. So, all right, screw you, Smith & Wesson, for screwing me over like that. Double B is saying he has the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 core long slide. Loves that thing in 9 mils. So sweet. A lot of Smith & Wesson fans here, which I'm not surprised. Fantastic gun. All right, so let me give you a couple of updates. One update is the fiasco, debacle, whatever you want to call this, with a gun company called Caracol. So I am still waiting to get my gun back from them. Long story short, something was wrong with the gun. Gun went back, and I never saw it again. And since then, they kind of just, had a bunch of manufacturing problems. Then COVID started up, and then it became a huge problem. Now, whether or not any of that is true, I'm not sure. I know that I'm still waiting. And so, at some point, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to say, and that's the end of that share. I would love to say to all of you that gun is coming back, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I've remained hopeful, probably blindly and stupidly for quite a while. But I'm not really sure what's going on. I can only assume that the reason why they are not sending the gun just yet is because they're trying to make a splash in SHOT Show, because I know they're going to be there. But I sent out an email today just saying, hey, maybe after SHOT Show, I'll actually get this gun back. So who the hell knows? But that's one thing. See, Kim is saying, kiss that goodbye. It's gone. I'm so hopeful, guys. I really am. And then, yeah, Double B is saying what sucks is that thing is still on your roster card. It actually is. And actually, one time I emailed them. I said, look, if I'm never going to get this gun back, could you at least send me a letter saying that I had to send it back and it's now in your possession so I can get it off my gun card? And they said, no, we're going to get it back to you, blah, 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 blah. And that was like 2 years ago. So, thanks, Caracol. Appreciate it. But if I do get it back, obviously I'll do a review, and hopefully this sucker will shoot much better. All right, so that's the first thing. Second thing is, as many of you know, if I could say it, my God, as many of you know, I had to, I took my Masada out to shoot. Now, I shot a bunch of guns the other day, and I had such a nice day at the range. Finally, I shot the 92X compact, the 92X Centurion, and the PX4 compact carry. Now, the PX4 compact carry, I'm just going to throw it out there. It is the most smooth, ridiculous double action, single action trigger that I've ever shot of any gun, any CZ, any Beretta, you name it. It's the shit. I mean, it really is. It's amazing. The crazy part of this is, and I've done a little bit of things. I put a 10-pound hammer spring on there. I put a skeletonized hammer. It's amazing. It's amazing, guys. The take up is smooth. I mean, like glass. The single action is just crisp. It's pulling now double action, barely 6 pounds. Single action is barely 3 pounds. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. But here's the little problem. I can't shoot it worth a shit. I just can't. I don't know what the hell it is. And I'd love to know. If you guys have any thoughts about how to properly shoot that gun, I'd love to hear it, because I just can't shoot it. It's not accurate for me. And it's not the gun. It can't be the gun. It's got to be me. I just don't know what the hell it is. And I'm convinced it's the sights. I think the sights are off somehow. And I'll make every excuse in the book, because I just cannot believe the terrible range time I've had with that gun. And that damn gun is so smooth. That's why I just can't understand it. However, the 92X Centurion compact, laser beams, man, just awesome. I shot it like shit, but in the beginning, and then picked it up really easy. Like once you get the that combat sight picture, it's actually very good. It's good. They're great guns, and I did a lot of work to them. The only thing I haven't done on the Centurion right now is I want to get a Langdon tactical trigger bar on there, because I just think it smooths up the trigger pull so much nicer than just what's on there now. But it's really good. And then I went to shoot the Masada. Had my magazine full, went to put the slide back into action, and nothing. I couldn't get the slide into action. I couldn't figure it out. So I basically retired the gun for the day before I even got a chance to shoot it. And then, of course, everybody kind of chimed in, let me know that it's the screws. Did some reading online, and sure enough, it was the screws. So for those out there who are looking at the Masadas and you have a hollow sun, use the 10mm set screws that are in there, not the 12, and you'll be able to go into action with the gun. Now, whether or not there's enough bite, we'll find out when the thing hits me in the forehead, or if it stays on the gun. So we'll find out. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. All right, let's see what some of you folks are saying here. The Armsman is saying that I am way too patient. It's not that I'm patient. I'm just really hopeful, because I really like the gun. I like the looks of the gun, the way the gun felt. And it was kind of a disappointing run. It really was. Like, you always, every time you get a new firearm, and you guys know this, you get that excitement like a little kid going to Toys R Us for the first time in Christmas, those types of things. But then when you get the gun and the gun doesn't work the way it should, you're just like, shit, did I just throw money out, or what's going to happen? And it was just a bad experience. And, I think what's worse is just the long process of getting this thing back and just not being able to see it or know what the hell's going on. So hopefully at the end of it, there'll be a happy ending to the story. But right now there has not been. And Dan O'Neill is saying 2 years, WTF. Yes, Dan, 2 years. I think it's actually been almost 3, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Let's see what else we got going on here. Sharon T is saying, I stuck with my new gun too. And it's not like that with every gun. It's whatever the heck. There's no way to describe it, because like I said, it's the best shooting double single action gun I've ever had. But for whatever reason, it is just impossible for me to shoot that gun. I even thought about asking somebody in the range, hey man, can you just shoot this gun and see if you're accurate with it? Because then at least it'll let me know that I suck as a human when it comes to shooting this gun, as opposed to the gun just being off a little bit. One of the things I did notice about the sight picture on the gun is it seems like the sights are off a little bit, like it's cocked over to the right a little bit too much on the front. So maybe that's what it is. But, I'll probably do a video where I show you the results, the embarrassing results. But, it is what it is, right? Captain Phil is saying the LTT trigger bar is pure sorcery. I agree. I don't know what he does. Maybe he puts some of his own spin on there, but it's amazing. I mean, they cleans up the trigger pull automatically. So if like you were looking to, basically upgrade any 92 series or your PX4, and you didn't want to spend tons of money, I'd get a hammer spring because they're fairly cheap, like $8. But then I'd get the LTT trigger bar, which is I think $67, give or take a couple of bucks, because it cleans it up so well. I mean, it's just amazing. Captain Phil saying he wants to send his 92X to LTT for the optic cut. Yeah, I'm not big on the optic stuff, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Rotodima saying that, oh, geez, just jumped. It shoots low and left for me. Then when I compensate, I shoot high and left. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was finding. Like I was shooting left and low. So I don't know if it's the grip angle. I don't know if it's the way the gun recoils compared to some other guns, obviously. But I'm not sure. And then Finn is asking, did I try shooting the Beretta 5 yards? I actually did, and I was spot on, like bullseye spot on. And then I pushed it back to 10, and it was a shit show. So again, I'm not sure what the hell it is. And then Sharon saying, just a bad day training. We can't be badass every day. Yeah, I mean, I was to the point where I was just going to throw it at the target. It would have been more effective at that point. But really, honestly, for the greatness of the trigger, it is the most inaccurate gun for me shooting, which I can't explain at this point. So when I take the Masada, I'm going to take that again because I really just want to get the gun running the way it should so that I can carry it in this thing. This pretty little holster here. I'll hold that up to the camera. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? That's Black Arch holsters for you guys who don't know that. That's my favorite holster company. All right. So let me ask you all a question. Chime in, all 34 of you. And by the way, thank you for showing up tonight. I greatly appreciate it. But what do you want to see coming out of SHOT Show? Like, what's the new thing? Is there a particular firearm, company, product? Like, what are you looking for to try to, I don't know, update or upgrade your arsenal, so to speak? You know what I'd like to see? I'd actually like to see Apex Triggers come out with something new, like a new trigger for a new gun or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool, because they make great triggers for the M&P series, Glocks, SIGs, and I would just like to see them maybe do something different for a different gun. They have them for the FNs too, but I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that. And Bill's saying I'm pulling the trigger too hard. And that's the crazy thing, is that the trigger is not hard to pull because I've modified it so much that the gun is just ridiculously. It's hard to describe the shooting experience because it's so freaking good. Scott79 saying he bought a second SIG P320X carry for $399. That's a smoking good deal, man. That's a really good deal. I mean, shit, anybody should have bought that. Let's see. Captain Phil says he wants the next weird Chris Vector-like subgun or something. Dan O'Neill would like a Glock 17 long Glock. That'd be interesting. Paul HSC wants to see a Glock 19 size, single action only, hammer-fired pistol. Boy, a hammer-fired pistol from a Glock. That'd be interesting to see, I guess, right? That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know what I want to see, to be honest with you. It's, because you could put your dreams up above everything else and it never comes true. I mean, for me, I was so stoked when Walther was coming out with new guns and everything. And then he came out with the PDP and I'm like, PDP was underwhelming, in my opinion. And the CCP, the M2 plus 2 or plus, whatever the hell they call it, that was a bust. Not surprising. Rhoda is saying he wants to build a Glock 34, a Glock carbine from Scott. He likes the Glock and Ant-Man. That would be Captain Phil. Pistol P is saying CZ in 10 mil, a CZ 97 or a CZ Shadow 2 compact. That'd be kind of cool. A CZ Shadow 2 compact. I would like to see an SP01 tactical in aluminum. That's the only thing that's ever stopped me from getting that gun. It's an all steel frame. I'd like to see that in an aluminum frame. I think that would be kind of cool. Revolver saying he'd like to see Smith & Wesson's CXS in double action, single action. Yeah, I was not even big on that gun, to be honest with you. Like, I'm still not sure that's anything I want to even remotely play with. Initially I thought it was made out of polymer, but it's not. It's actually aluminum, which is kind of neat, I guess, in that sense. But, the gun is just, I don't know. It's kind of like a meh, that type of firearm. So yeah. Not a big deal. New updates on the Beretta APXs. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see that. I mean, I just think Beretta gave up on that gun. They didn't win the military contract, and that was pretty much it. So I don't suspect we're going to see any new Beretta APXs at all. I could be wrong, but it would be interesting to see them try to do something in the polymer market again. The PX4 Storm, great gun, can't shoot it, but PX4 Storm, great gun. The APX was a great gun, but just didn't have a lot of, I guess, support behind it. The support part of it was not a good part. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I just think they gave up. Factory 10 mil CZ 97B. Yeah, it was 97 BD. I would like. That's the kind of gun I would like in 45 or 10. All right, let's see what else you guys got here. And again, just some side notes here for those of you who have joined us in the past few minutes. If you guys are interested in some lock grips, LOK, you go to the website, make a purchase, 10% off, $17.76. Yep, I know. Pretty cool, right? And also, if you care to support the channel, I know it's hard for me to say this and it's hard for you to hear this, but yes, I have a Patreon page. And with a little bit of support, hopefully the channel can explode. I like to always tell people and remind them that when you have a New York-based gun channel, it's very difficult to be successful. That's for sure. At least they haven't banned them completely yet, I guess, right? Captain Phil saying he has that 97 BD and 45. Yeah, I was looking at those. I was this close, and then I was like, nah. I don't know. Sometimes I balk on certain firearms. Now, speaking of firearms that are coming in, so you guys know I got the P2000. I've got an FD P2000 in version 3, so it's got a decogging button on the back. Not a very good double action. Single action's okay. It's not like perfect or anything, but I'm pretty excited. I had a P2000 a long time ago. I think it's a good, solid build. It's a great gun. A lot of people discount it because it's not as modern as some of the other guns out there, but I think it's still worthy. I think it's still a good firearm to have in anybody's collection. And honestly, I'm not big on H&Ks or HK, however you want to say it, but I do like the P2000. I do like it. So that's coming in. And then I also found this other gun, and it's one of those guns that I probably am going to regret buying, but I got it for just a crazy price. I paid $347 for it. It is a new firearm, but it's a clone of a different firearm. And some of you might have heard of it. I did not know it existed. So I found it on Gunbroker and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I wound up buying a Tisus, something. But I bought a Tisus, what is it called? Zagana Gen 3 PX9. It's a PX9, I think they call it. So yeah, I got one of those, and that's coming in. It was a crazy good price, and it's based off the XD. It's the Springfield XD pretty much, just a little prettier, and seems like it has a better trigger. It's optic cut already, so it's optic ready. It's fully outfitted in Cerakote, which could be a positive or negative, I guess, depending on how you look at it. And I was kind of looking at Springfield again, and the XDM Elites are pretty neat. Rhoda's saying he'd like to see an FDE one. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So I said, let me take a chance on it. I mean, it's like I said, it's minimal investment, and hopefully you get some good reward back as a result. But yeah, that's coming in. I got the OD green model, so the whole thing is Cerakoted. And the reason why I say that could be bad or good is because it could be good because it's an extra coating for protection for the firearm, but it could be bad because the original coating on the firearm sucks, so they cover it up with Cerakote. I mean, it just depends, and eventually that Cerakote's going to rub off, and it's going to take a toll on it. But we'll see how it plays out. And like I said, could be a good gun just to throw in the truck. So yeah, I definitely am getting that. Let's see. Dennis Buckner is saying, hey, I'm late. What did I miss? Well, nothing. You have missed absolutely zero. We talked about 4 different firearms that are being shown at SHOT Show, and kind of got everybody's thoughts on them. One of them, I think I may have thought it was new, but it may not have been, which is this Shield Plus, but it looked new, and then they said it was new. Bill is asking, what do I think about the Hellcat? Well, not much. I don't have one, and I don't have any desire to have one. I've dry fired it a few times, held it in my hand. But honestly, to be honest with you, if you have a 365 or you're looking for a micro carry, I would just get a 365. I think that has been the best offering out there, just for full capacity, magazine wise, and just just everything really. It's a good gun. It's a solid gun. But I never liked the Hellcat. Trigger doesn't feel all that great. The ergos are okay, but not great. And like I said, if you like the gun, awesome. More power to you. But it never did anything for me. So the Hellcat, I wouldn't. I'd go out and get a SIG P365 XL or just a regular one. Let's see. Double B is saying, I'm telling you, for $400, them knockoff Berettas are sweet. He's trying to get me to buy one of those. What is it called? I forget what they're called again. But maybe one day, if I can ever get more Patreon subscribers to my channel, then that'll be the first gun I buy. How about that? Let's see. Pistol Pete is saying, as long as it does not say grip zone on the pistol. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say anything on it. It just says, I think it says like Sagana, some shit on it. I don't even know. It's pretty basic, but that's kind of the coolness of it. Can you get a really solid gun for $347? And I'm sure there'll be people who are angry because it's from Turkey and all this other crap, but whatever, if you're still butthurt over that, don't buy any German guns. Okay. That's what I always say. Let's see. Let's see. Dennis is saying he wants to get his hands on a Bull Armory TAC 2. That's interesting. Bull Armory makes good stuff. Mr. H0661 is saying, I'm a Smith & Wesson guy, but just bought a Janik Mete SFX. Really like it. Yeah, those are kind of cool. I definitely like how they redesigned it. I think the biggest improvement on anything Janik or Kanik or Kanik is going to be how they redesign the rear portion of the slot or the frame. Because I had a TP9 SF Elite, and I always felt like that back portion of the lower of the polymer was so thick, so you'd always hit that knuckle, the knuckle on your thumb. But they kind of trimmed that down, so now your hand sits back a little bit easier on there. So I think that was pretty smart on their part. Now, if Walther would do the same, that'd be fantastic too. But it seems they just like building blocky guns for some reason. Let's see, Captain Phil, how compatible parts-wise is the Gerson with the 92? The Taurus clone was basically interchangeable. I do not believe the Gerson is, though. I've seen some videos where people have tried it, and they've had just like, obviously like hammer springs, no problem, but any internals are not the same. That's what I saw. I'm not sure if that's true. Revolver's asking, do I own a 1911? No, I do not. I do not own a 1911. That is another, I guess you could say, genre of firearm that I've just never really adopted, to be honest with you. Armsman is saying the CCP3 is dropping at shot. Is that being truthful? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up, and if you're lying, I'm going to ban you from this chat. It's funny. I actually reached out to them because they came out with the CCP M2 Plus or Plus M2 or whatever it was called, and so of course I reached out to him saying, listen, why don't you send it to me? I took a poop all over the first gun because it was a piece of crap. Send this one to me, and if it's a good gun, I'll let everybody know. And they told me to, piss off. So yeah. So the Armsman was kidding. All right, so now I don't have to ban you. Yeah, I figured. I don't think, and again, they came out with this big hubbub about the M2 Plus 9mm, and you can't find them. I mean, I found one online, but it's like they want almost $500 for that gun. And really, the only difference is I think they built what is it? I think the slide is built out of some form of better steel or some shit like that. I don't really know what it is for better reliability, they said. So I believe it's the slide I think it's the slide, not the barrel, but it's the slide. So who knows? Who knows anything about that gun? So let's see. Dennis, I own a Glock 30, but I like XDM better. Fantastic trigger and optic ready. Yeah, they did an improvement on that trigger for sure. And they've actually discontinued the Mod 2s completely. The XD Mod 2 9s, those are done. They don't make them anymore. They just do the XDS and what was that other one? The XDE? Was that the hammer fired one? I don't think they're making those either anymore. So it looks like really Springfield, I think, is consolidating their stuff. They're condensing everything down. So they have their 1911 lines, which are actually pretty good. And then they have their rifle line with the new Hellion, which I don't think anybody's going to buy. And then they have the XD, I think it's the XD Hero series, which is the old XD 9s. And then they have the XDM Elites. So that's it. That's all they have right now. So who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us with something else. It'd be interesting. Springfield does not make terrible guns. They just make terrible political decisions. Yeah, I would like to get a Chris Vector. I like those, man. Those are pretty cool. And I think they make them so that you can actually own them in New York. But I haven't seen one, so I'm not sure. Yeah, and an Armsman is saying the XM Elite is their best line aside from their 1911. Yeah, and I think that's why they dropped everything else. You know, they put the XD, the old XD series, which is I think the Hero series. I think that's what they call it. I actually saw one today at my local gun shop, and they were asking $350 for it. So I mean, that's a killer deal. I mean, that's a good price on a solid handgun. But I'm going to see how that Zagana works, because it's basically, like I said, is an XD model, just with some little nuances that are a little nicer. It comes with, optic ready sights, again, fully Cerakoted, good trigger. So I think it's a better option than the XD Hero series. Yeah, I mean, 1911s for me have never, Defender, that's what it is. The Armsman is saying, and he's correcting me, and you're right, the Defender series, that's right. The 1911 for me has never really been my forte, man. It just, I don't know, and don't get me wrong, they're nice to shoot. I've shot a few of them. They're good builds. I mean, obviously, they have a long history, right? Everybody always says 2 world wars, baby. But I just have never really done anything with them. I've never really found myself gravitating to them. And some people get offended when I say that, but it's, everybody's different. I actually was looking at what was it? I was looking at a Dan Wesson the other day, and it was $1,200, and it was amazing. It was beautiful looking, and the trigger was ridiculous, and it was nice. But it's just, again, it's like a 1911. It held 10 rounds of 9mm, and it was a nice gun. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. And for some people they love them, some people they don't. Me personally, like I said, I've just never gravitated to them. And there's certain manufacturers that I don't even waste my time with. And it's not a personal thing. It's just, well, it's not a personal thing against them. It's just a personal thing for me. Like, for example, I've never owned a Ruger, not one, never. Oh, that's not true. I've owned a Mini 14, 2 of them actually, but I've never owned a Ruger handgun. And I have no desire to own a Ruger handgun, because honestly, I don't like them. I don't really think they're good, and some people say, oh, they're great. But for me, they're just not something I'm interested in. FN has good stuff, and I've owned a couple of theirs, but I just, again, never really did anything for me. I mean, the price of an FN, when you look at the prices of things, and that's one thing I want to always make clear about my channel, is that I'm never going to be that guy who has this most expensive firearm. And it's not a knock against anybody who does, but I'm just not going to do that. And it's just because obviously life circumstances don't allow that. But at the end of the day, like for me, if you were to compare an FN, like a 509, and you put it up against an M&P 2.0, right? The 509, for what it gives you, is more expensive than an M&P, and the M&P to me is a fantastic firearm. It is, when before the world went into chaos like we're seeing right now, the M&Ps were so easy to find, and they were so affordable that you would have been crazy not to buy one. And I remember when I first got my FN 509, I'm trying to get this damn cord off me. When I first got the FN 509, I was like, it's a really nice gun, but it really reminded me a lot of the M&P 2.0. Like to me, it wasn't as good as the 2.0. Now, of course, you get your Apex trigger in there, and everybody's like, oh, but then you got to pay more. But at the end of the day, the M&P to me was still a better gun, and that's why for me, FN was never really gonna do it for me. What else? SIGs, I kind of have a love-hate relationship. Some of them I love, most of them I hate, and I'm not really sure. I think, like, for me, a SIG Sauer and even H&K are 2 of the most overpriced pistols in the world. They really are. Oh boy. Let's see what some of you are saying here. Let's see. Ruger does make good revolvers. They do. I know that. A lot of people I know have Ruger revolvers, and they love them. Captain Phil saying he has a Cold Combat Commander in 45 ACP, but they aren't for everyone. I need something to shoot my 45 reloads through, though. That's a good point. Get what you want, man. Hello, Keenan. How are you, sir? Double B is saying we are spoiled with 500 firearms. Smith, Glock, Springfield. Why pay more? And you're absolutely right. I mean, there's so many different. There's so many crazy good options out there, and when you're looking for a firearm, a lot of times you get caught up in, oh man, look at this thing and it has the best new thing here and this and everything else. And it's very easy to do that, especially like when you're doing this. But I would always say sometimes the best things you have are the ones that are worth the least, you know, and that's something every gun person should be aware of, and at least try to say that on their channel, is that you don't have to buy something that's affordable and think it's a cheap piece of shit, because it's not always the same. It's not always going to be that case, like for me personally, I will never buy a Taurus. Never. I don't have any desire to buy them. I don't trust them. And everybody and their mother can do video reviews on them, say, oh no, they're great and this and that. Sorry, not buying it. Same thing with Bursas. I will not buy Bursa. But I will give tries to other guns. I think the Turkish guns are very good builds. I really do. I think Janik makes good guns. I mean, and some people get mad when you say it, but they do. They make great guns. The triggers are phenomenal. They seem to be extremely reliable. My first experience wasn't very good, but that was my experience. Now with this Zagana thing that I'm bringing in, we're going to see how that plays out. Hopefully that's a good gun, but I think you can't ever discount affordability, and you can't say affordable means cheap, and it's not the same thing. Let's see. The 2.0 was around 380 pre-corona coronavirus. And you're absolutely right. It was. It was crazy. I mean, I gotten a 2.0 sub, or it was a 2.0 subcompact, which was the original compact. I bought that thing for under $400, and now forget it. You can't find them for that. And yes, you're right, Captain Phil. Those were the days. 100%. Rhoda saying that the GX4 is an incredible gun. Not a fan of Taurus, but the GX4 Toro is just as good as the P365. And that might be the case. Again, I will be ignorant because I will not ever buy that gun. But, again, it's not a knock against anybody who does. It's just, it's personal preference. I don't want to do it. Arm's going to say Janik has come a long way since their initial release. Every release is an improvement. And I think that's a good thing about them too. They're building good firearms, and they're taking the old ones and they're improving them gradually. Whether it's, reliability, whether it's grip, whether it's texturing, whatever it might be. And that's all you can ask. And it doesn't matter where the gun company's from. That's the only thing you should be asking for. You should be asking for better guns that come out and are released. And I think that's the interesting part of any manufacturer, is some manufacturers always stick to the old stuff and never improve anything because they sell no matter what, Glock. But at the same time, other manufacturers are always innovating. For me, some manufacturers go backwards. Like I always think like Walther, PDB is a good gun. It's a good solid build. It shoots well. The trigger's great and everything else. But I still think it was a step backwards for Walther. I think they could have done better. But what do I know? I'm not a gun engineer. Let's see. Bagger Bro, hello from Nebraska. How you doing? Janik is cloning a great design that helps, and they are. They clone Walthers, they clone CZs, but and that helps. Dennis is saying he's been hit by the Shadow Systems bug. Have the 920 Combat optic ready. And it's interesting. I only have currently one Glock, and honestly, I will never buy another Glock again unless they come out with something like amazing. But right now, I can't understand why. Somebody was giving me crap the other day on my channel because I did that MR920 comparison with the Glock 19 and talked about, what you would pay versus the Glock 19 and modifying it. And this person got all bent out of shape because I was saying that, Glock had some issues. And he was like, what issues did Glock ever have? Well, it's called reading. You have to read, folks. It's pretty simple. They had issues with their guide rods. They had issues with their extractor or ejector. And that was nothing anybody didn't know. Gen 4s had some problems when they first were released. And somehow I was lying, but whatever. But I'll tell you, if you go with an MR920 or the XR920, which is really nice, I would love to get one of those, but I have a 19X, so it's pretty much the same thing, just not as cool or nice. I think once you go that route with Shadow Systems, there's really no reason to go and get a Glock again. There really isn't, unless they do something different. which who knows? Maybe they'll surprise everybody at SHOT Show and have a gun that shoots backwards or something. I don't know. Double B is saying Gen 4 Glocks were trash. I don't know. My Gen 4 was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. I had a 17, a 19, and a 26, and they were pretty good. They were always reliable. But again, like you go to the MR920, and I got a Combat. I didn't get the all jazzed up one with the slide cut and everything like that. But I've got the optic ready Combat. The gun is phenomenal. It's a great gun. Super accurate, easy to shoot. No issues with it whatsoever. None. So Captain Phil is saying my Shadow Systems 920 Combat wasn't able to get through 2 mags. I had to get rid of the magazines. I wound up using just Glock 19 magazines. I actually had some hangups the first like 250, 300 rounds, and I was not happy with that. So I wound up switching them out for Glock magazines. Never a problem again, if that helps. Armsman is he's in love with the War Poet MR920. Amazing model when it comes to the Glock platform. Need a DR and an X model now. Revolver saying Glock 19 won't leave the SIP, and he's got plenty of pistols. Yeah, what have I been carrying lately? Jesus, I was carrying my 365 the other night just because it was too easy not to. But I've been carrying a lot. I've actually been carrying a lot the P07. CZ needs to bring back the Shadow Compact. You know what? I'd like to see something like that, but no offense, guys. I don't like the safeties or single actions with the safety or whatever, double single with the safety. I would prefer to get a decocker. I know that doesn't resonate with many of you, but it does for me. That's just my choice. Bill is saying he needs to buy a 9mm metal frame pistol just to see how the recoil is. Well, I mean, you could always burn some money and get an Icarus Precision lower. It's aluminum. It goes well with the SIG. Look, it's the only reason why I have SIGs right now. If I did not have those aluminum lowers on them, all my SIGs would be gone. But it changed the dynamic of the shooting, and it's so much better. That's just my opinion. Mike is saying the FN 509 really don't get talked about a lot. Any thoughts? I think the FN, and we were talking about it briefly before, I don't think the FN stands out above anything. I think the trigger is average. I think the ergonomics are average. Reliability is good as long as your striker doesn't break. Honestly, I don't think they do anything any better than other guns. And I think when you look at that, that's an issue, but you also look at the following. There's much bigger following with Glocks, much bigger following with Smith & Wesson, I believe, and Berettas, to be honest with you. And so I don't see it ever gaining that huge traction. Not a bad gun, but like I said, for me, if I was comparing the FN 509 to an M&P 2.0, I'm going 2.0 all day, every day, because I think it's a better gun and it's cheaper. I think that's what kills FN is their price. Let's see. Pistol Pete is saying War Poet banned me from his channel. I can only ask why. I don't even want to ask why. So who knows? Let's see. Deanna saying he has a Glock 17 in his shoulder holster right now. That's pretty sweet. Revolver saying he got the P07 duty with the newer P07 holster fit the duty. It should. There's really no difference. There's no difference at all between the two guns. Just the Omega system, which is the flat trigger versus the hook trigger and safety versus decock. But, same gun. I had a duty as well one time. Keenan is saying the 509 LS was a bust. Shot one, wasn't impressed. Yep. And I think it goes back to what I said. Look at the price of that damn gun. That gun is like ridiculously overpriced. Ridiculously. Rhoda saying he bought the tungsten lower from SIG and no recoil on that SIG now. Pretty sweet. Scott saying he's always thought FN pistols were mediocre at best. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they're average. I think they're an overpriced average gun. At least back before COVID hit, the M&P was an affordable good gun. The FN was an unaffordable mediocre gun. And I think that's the best way to put it. And again, this is all just my opinion. If you guys like FNs, look, don't get mad. But I agree. I think it's a mediocre pistol at best. Armsman is saying that those Icarus lowers changed B365 completely. Major improvement, worth every penny. And it is, definitely. Arms is saying the LS is terrible, looks solid, but functions terribly. Yeah, like I said, I have no desire to own one of those either. Again, when you're going to put out a gun, it's like you gotta like rationalize it. Don't go with this emotional thing. Rationalize it. If you can find the same thing for maybe 250 less, why wouldn't you do it? But that's where the whole fanboyism comes into play too, as well, and girlism. Yeah, revolver. Like I said, the P07 and the P07 Duty, they're identical guns. There's nothing different except for the Omega system. Nothing at all. Same thing. You have different. The slides are a little bit different. I don't believe you have serrations on the front on the Duty. You may correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's true. And I want to say the slide might be a little bit different cut, but it should fit with no issues. And if it doesn't fit, I will deny ever saying that, just so you know. Let's see. Keith is saying he never liked the triggers on M&P pistols. Neither do I. Those hinge triggers suck, but now they're coming out with the newer triggers, which is, I think, going to help them quite a bit. And it's a long-awaited boost. That's for sure. Rhoda saying FN triggers are terrible and have a track record of not resetting at a reliable rate. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Pistol Pete, do I still have a P10C? I do not. I do not have a P10C. Every once in a while, I think about getting one again, but yeah. Like I just think about like, what the hell do I need it for? It doesn't do anything better than some of the other guns I have. Like, to me, the MR920, I only have right now 3 striker fired handguns. That's pretty bad. I'm going to be getting a 4th one here, which is that the Turkish gun, but I only have a Glock. I have the Masada. Oh, that's not true. I have more than that. I have a few SIGs. Sorry, guys. I have like 3 SIGs. I've got the Masada. I've got the Glock 19X. And gosh, what else? I think that's it. So I don't have many striker fireds left, and that's why for me right now, I'm kind of picking and choosing things that I like, things that I want to shoot, things that I want to own. Let's see. Will I be adding any long guns to the collection? I actually did one. I actually got a Saiga, which is, if you know what a Saiga is, it's basically an Ishmas AK, but it's sporterized. That way it's legal to shoot here, and I don't have to worry about people screaming because they're scared of it. And I love it. I shot it a couple times already. It's a great gun. I mean, some people don't like the AK platform. I do. I actually enjoy it. Southpaw is asking whatever happened to the Caracol. So we talked about that earlier. We are still waiting 2 years after. So we're still waiting. Maybe by some miracle, I'll grow some hair first, but we'll see. Arms been saying both P07 Tactical and P07 Duty fit the same holsters. The difference is triggers. Hammer, minor change on the slide and frame, nothing significant. So there's your answer. Confirmed. The APX, the APX is a long gone. Those have been gone a while. Sometimes I wish I didn't sell one of them, because I own multiple APX. I had the full size, I had the Centurion, and then I had the Centurion RDO. And if I could have kept one, I would have probably kept the Centurion. Like I said, I'm not a huge red dot fan. So, and the thing I always complain about the RDO is there's no option for co-witnessing sites. So that's why I was like, fuck it, let me get rid of it. But I've been looking at APXs again, not gonna lie. And again, I found them really cheap online. I think it was like $347, and they're taking offers. So I actually thought about putting in a bid for $200. Just let's see what happens, Yeah, Keith is saying, agreeing with Pistol Pete. Yeah, Smith & Wesson needs a contract with Apex. I mean, it could be a win for both, but I think Smith can do it without even like using Apex. Just modify the trigger, which they did, and I think that's going to hurt Apex in the long run. That's why I'm saying I want to see them kind of branch out into other guns. Guy comments there. That's right. It is 9:04, so we will be shutting down very soon. Appreciate all of you guys checking us out tonight. Let's see. Rhoda is saying he's still got the Apex Centurion, and to this day is the most accurate gun I own. This person with what appears to be Korean. I don't speak Korean, so I don't know what the name is, but it's asking, what is your opinion on the Beretta PX4 compact carry? Well, it's kind of a messed up opinion, because I've said this earlier that this gun is the best feeling handgun in the world right now, double action, single action wise. I put a 10-pound hammer spring in there, a skeletonized hammer. It is amazing, just amazing. But for whatever reason, I can't shoot it well. And I'm not sure why. 5 yards out, no problem. 10 yards, problem. So I've got to work that out. And it's definitely me. So I've got to figure that out and work that out. But I mean, if you're looking to get one, I would get one because it's worth it. You just got to learn the gun. And I'm having trouble with it. So, I'm not going to lie to anybody and say that I'm spot on, because I'm not. Absolutely not. All right, guys. So it's 9:05. So we're going to shut this down here. I appreciate everybody watching. Just again, 2 quick sort of announcements. Again, if you're interested in lock grips, 1776, you can get 10% off at the closing. Listen to me, at the holy shit, I'm having a brain fart right now. At your purchase. That's what I wanted to say, folks. So yes, all of you can get 10% off from any purchase you make with lock grips if you put in 1776 as your code. Do I get a kickback? Yes, I do. But I wouldn't peddle it if I didn't believe in them. I've been using lock grips for approximately 6 years and never had any issues with them. They've always been great, and they're only getting better. And those Veloc grips, those are the ones I recommend. They're the great mixture between grippiness and carryability. So the Veloc grips are awesome. Those are the ones I would highly recommend if you're into those grips. And also, if you wouldn't mind, if you care to support the channel, you can support us at Patreon. $3 a month, man. I'm not going to come over and be your best friend, but it does help the channel grow. I'm not going to lie. It definitely does. So I hope you guys have a great night. Again, hopefully you're all safe and doing well. And hopefully this new year is starting out with a bang. Keep in mind, SHOT Show's next week. So I think every other Sunday night, we're going to have a chat here at 8 o'clock. I think that's what we're going to start doing. And appreciate everybody being on. So I hope you guys have a great night. Stay safe. And as always, everyone, freedom is never free.